1, 2. I am live. If there's anybody watching right now, please let me know if everything is operational. Am I visible? Am I audible? All that good stuff. Let me know in the chat. Because I'm ready. I haven't done this in a long time. Probably in over a year or so. So it was about time to go back live. Hello, Constantine M. Am I audible? Long time no see. What's up, brother? Can you hear me? Let me know. So I'm actually, to be very honest, I'm slightly nervous actually because I haven't done this in such a long time, and I'm so very much used to being on my own in this room and doing everything by myself. So yeah, I'm very excited too because I obviously am a gear nerd I'm a gear geek, and I just love talking about gear with like-minded people. You guys, of course. So I'm ready to have some fun and talk about cool stuff, exciting stuff. I'm also going to announce the winners of the free Tonex giveaway. Hey guys, people are coming in the chat. Hi Sven, hi Pip, hi You So Crazy. Hello, nice to see you guys. All right, I was just saying that I'm really looking forward to this because it has been quite a while. Yeah, probably a year or maybe even longer, and the summer, or at least all the summer vacations, are coming to an end, and I think it's time to chat, time to talk about some exciting things, and just hang out and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, basically. I mean, we obviously have a lot to talk about back here. I also have a bunch of guitars here that you might want to talk about, or anything. If there's any advice you guys want, or any questions you have about my setup, about my recording, or anything. So yeah, I already see some questions. Great. I'm gonna get to your questions very soon, guys. There's one thing that I want to show you guys before I get into the questions, and before I get into the announcement of the winners of the giveaway. I have a piece of new gear in the studio, so I'm going to show you that first. I'm going to tell a little bit of a backstory first. So for a little while, I've been considering getting a unit, especially for my practice setup. Because usually when I play guitar, I'm sitting right here in front of my work desk. And a lot of times when I'm playing guitar, it's work related. It's related to, creating the media content and the videos and all that stuff. And I don't really play for pleasure all that much. And I wanted to change that by getting a little practice rig to put on my couch. I have a sort of sitting area back there with my TV and my movies and the gaming consoles and stuff like that. And I wanted to have something there for me to plug in, get some gray tones, mess with IRs, and maybe tweak the tones a little bit because I like tweaking, and just have some fun. And then I had a dream about a week ago, probably, and I dreamt that I had a little pedal modeler, and I went ahead and got it. As you may or may not know, I'm a very spontaneous person. I do things when I feel like it, and sometimes, it's not very good for my bank account, or sometimes my family doesn't agree, or stuff like that. But that's just how I am. I guess I'm a very spontaneous person. So I got this. It's a Fractal FM3. Check it out, guys. So this is one heck of a practice rig. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you guys, it's a no compromise practice rig. I mean, the cool thing is I'm very familiar with the Fractal, how do you say it? The Fractal world, whatever, because I have an XFX3 under my desk here that I use basically every single day. I use it as my sound card. I use it for recording my scratch tracks, my DI tracks. I use it to try out new IRs and all that good stuff. So I'm very, very familiar with architecture, I guess you could say. And I wanted something that had no compromises, basically. And this thing can do it all. I mean, this thing has all the amp models from the XFX. There's a loop. There's a headphones out, which is what I'm using, which is cool. And it allows me, which was important for me, it allows me to load over 1,000 IRs. I'm an IR geek. I love my own hammer IRs, and I wanted something that I could load a bunch of IRs in to mess around with the IRs, because it's just, there's a nerdy side of me that really loves impulse responses, right? So got this little thing just for fun. I've got an expression pedal hooked up, like a cheap small one from, let's see, what's the company again? From the Hot Tone, like a small expression pedal, one cable, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been using it for a couple of days now, and it's a lot of fun. But of course, I'm also going to use it in videos. Why the heck not, right? And I'm going to make a video with this thing tomorrow, actually. I have a cool idea for a video. So that's what I wanted to show you guys, because it's cool. And if you guys ever have any ideas for videos with this thing, of course, let me know. And if you have any questions about this thing, there's a lot to talk about, because this thing can do so much. It's crazy. And my presets tend to be very simple anyway. Amplifier, cab block, sometimes a little bit of room reverb, or maybe an expression pedal effect. And usually that's it. So, you know, for my daily practice stuff or whatever, or writing mode, I don't need an Axe effects. I use it a lot for work, but for having fun, this is more than enough. It's an incredible little pedal. So just wanted to show you guys that. I'm really happy with this. I'm going to announce the winners for the contest soon, in a couple of minutes. Thank you all for participating and for commenting, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I always have a lot of fun with doing comparisons, and there are a bunch of comparisons that I want to do on the channel very soon. I mean, I want to compare the diezel to some amps. I want to compare the Red 7 to some amplifiers. I also want to compare the driftwood, which is, I don't know if you can see it, the driftwood. I want to compare that to some other amplifiers and so forth. So, I mean, I've got so many ideas for videos. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions and then get to the winners of the contest. And then we're just going to relax, have fun, and talk for as long as we want. Okay. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them here. I'm going to do my best to answer as much of them as I'm able to, but if not, I will do my best. Okay. Let's see. Drink copious amounts of liquor for the nerves. Thanks for the suggestion, Pip. I try to drink in moderation, with moderation. I don't know how you say that, but hey guys, it's very nice to see you, by the way. Thanks for joining in, and I hope you got your drinks and some snacks, because I just want to hang out with you guys and nerd out and geek out and have some fun here, okay? Constantine, I want to start a professional YouTube channel. Yeah, it's hard, dude. Whew, it's tough. There are a lot of challenges with this work. It's not easy. If you want to do it for fun, if you want to do it to get your creative, whatever, your creative makings out there, and just to have the feeling that you're doing something with your creativity, it's great. It's a great platform to get yourself into the world, but it's really hard to grow the channel, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And so, yeah, it's a challenge, but I love being able to do it. I'm definitely not complaining, but yeah, it's far from easy for me anyway. Hello, guys. Howdy, howdy. Hi from Brazil. Awesome. Max M77. Hey, man. Red 7 Leviathan versus the Super Kraken. Any thoughts? Good question. Great question. That's one of those questions that I love answering, right? In terms of tone, let's keep it at that. In terms of tone, the Red 7 is more versatile because of the fact that it has a resonance control and a presence control. The Victory doesn't have that. The overdrive channels on the Leviathan are very cool, very unique, very organic sounding. I mean, the red channel, the heavy channel, is tight, but not super tight. So you can also get some thick tones out of it. And when you put a boost in front, you can get it nice and modern and tight. Very, very nice tone. Very cool. The other channel is kind of like a hot rodded Marshall with a cool sort of edge to it, which is really unique as well. And the Victory Kraken, the clean channel isn't great. I mean, for my taste, The second channel, or the crunch or gain 1 channel, gain 2, I'm not sure how they're called, but the sort of middle ground channel is really fat and really thick. And then the gain 2 channel, I believe, which is the heavy channel, is very tight, but it's a little bit noisy and a little bit dark. So you're going to have to go in there with an EQ pedal or something like that, perhaps to open it up a little bit. And the Red 7 has all of that on board. And I love the guys over at Red 7. Those are my bros. So I really appreciate their work, and their load box is awesome too. So I really recommend checking them out. But the Victory stuff is cool too, and the folks who work over at Victory are also very nice. So, you know, maybe try them out in a store or watch some videos. I hope that helps. Constantine, so you are not using high cut in your amp demos? No, because I use great IRs. I never use high cuts on my guitar tones, actually. Trickster, can you explain the gain staging of your Tonex models, because they are louder than others? I don't think I'm doing anything special, to be honest. I don't know how to answer that question, actually, which may sound weird, but I don't know. I just make sure that the signals aren't clipping, but that they're not too low when I'm making the captures. You know, avoid going into the red, but also don't stray too far from the maximum levels. I guess that should help. Thanks for the congrats on the new FM3. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the guys who are just tuning in. We got this last week, and it's freaking awesome. It's a great piece of gear. If you can afford one, man, it's hard to not go for it if you're looking something that does it all. A great alternative, of course, would be the HX Stomp by Line 6. It's more compact. I don't have one, unfortunately. I'd love one, especially for comparisons and stuff like that. But that's, of course, more affordable. But, of course, the fractal is definitely very flexible when it comes to all the switching options. I mean, it's really crazy. And this was really surprising to me, how much you can do with 3 switches. It's crazy. I mean, you can change scenes by tapping a switch, but when you hold the switch, you can assign a different function. So you can switch between 6 different scenes with these 3 switches alone. But you can also go to different views, which simulates having multiple rows of switches and all that stuff. So it's quite crazy. I'm just going to use it for practicing and for some videos, but yeah, it's really impressive. Okay, so maybe I should just announce the winners. Exciting. So I picked a couple of winners, 5 winners for the free Tonex Max software. I'm not super sure on how to do this with the licenses, because the winners are going to get some licenses, of course. Perhaps when the winners are announced, perhaps the winners can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook to my professional Sonic Drive Studio page with proof, like a screenshot of your YouTube account, that it is in fact you who is logged into your YouTube account. And then when that's all verified, I'll send you the license and you're good to go. Sound good? I hope it sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to announce the winners, guys, and to everybody who has won a license for Tonex Max, congrats. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to watch the video. Before I carry on, please, guys, drop a like to the channel. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because it means the world to me, and it really helps the channel out. Drop a comment, drop a question in the chat, and we're going to have some fun. Okay, so once again, the winners, please send me a message on my Instagram account or Facebook, the Sonic Drive Studio account, with proof that it's your account, and I'll send you the license. Okay, here we go. The first winner is Richard D.W. Jensen. Richard D.W. Jensen, congrats. You've won a license for Tonex Max. Awesome. Send me a message, okay? The second winner is Bradley James 6390. Bradley James 6390, or 0. Congrats, you are also a winner. Send me a message. The next winner is Adrian G. 0.7017. Adrian G. 0.7017. That G could also be a 9. I think it's a G. Congrats, you're a winner. The next one has a pretty funny name. I killed the dodo. I killed the dodo. Wow, that's impressive. You must be very old. Assuming that dodos got extinct a long time ago. Congrats, you're also a winner. Send me a message. And the final winner of the contest is Drop D, D-E-E. So D as in D-E-E, Drop D-E-E 44. Okay, congrats, guys. Drop me a message on my Instagram account or Facebook account, and I will provide you the license. I'll provide you with the license. So congrats, guys, and thanks everybody for participating in the free giveaway and for hanging out and watching the comparison, which was pretty close. Definitely, yeah, it's really impressive. One user asks me, where's your accent from? I'm Dutch. I'm from the Netherlands. My father is English, so that helps. But yeah, I'm just a Dutch guy. Okay, now let's chill out, talk gear, have some fun. So guys, drop your questions. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to know, and I'll see if I can answer them. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's answer some questions. Trickster asks, and what do you think about ripping off other plugins or the fractal stuff, for example, with Tonex when we're ripping off real amps at the same time? I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not sure how to answer that, actually. I mean, yeah. I mean, digital modeling companies, they are copying the tones of amplifiers and copying the schematics of the amplifiers into the digital world. So I guess that they're doing the same thing. However, I'm definitely not interested in myself in playing captures of Kemper profiles or modelers, but that's basically because I have those platforms aside from the Kemper. I have those platforms already. So for me, it's just not really interesting. So I really don't think about it too much. So I don't really know, man. Constantine, PV Invective versus Line 6 Helix PV Vitriol lead. Does it feel different? Didn't try that amp in real life. Good question. I don't know if I've actually played through it, because I did a comparison video of the PV Vitriol versus the Invective, and the sound is quite different. I couldn't really match them for some reason. Who knows what that reason is? So it won't feel exactly the same, because feel is sound, you know? So I don't know, hard to say. Gunnar, are there any pieces of gear that you have used that you think are underrated or not well known enough? Good question. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, Blackstar is underrated. Some of their amps are great, and some of the tones that I can get out of this amplifier, for example, wink, wink, are really good. So yeah, that's definitely underrated. I mean, sure, you can have criticism and criticize a company for doing certain things in a certain way, but in the end, they're great amps, you know, so they get a bad rap. Dave, any new Ghost Hour material on the horizon? We're working on a new song right now, but we're working on it slowly. So not anything going to be released soon. And it's not like a lot of people listen to it, but we do it for our own pleasure. And there will be new music in a little while. Thanks for asking. All right. Let's see. Adam, is it worth the upgrade from the FM3 Mark I? He asks. I'm not sure. I haven't used the Mark I. I think one of the differences is that the scribble strips are a bit bigger. and it has 10% more processing power. Some of the older ones don't have the headphones output, which would be a deal breaker for me since this is my practice rig, but I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. Doesn't seem like a huge upgrade, to be honest. Somebody asks, do you prefer setting your amp at the point of breakup and use a pedal in front, or use the amp's gain? Whenever I have a good amplifier, I prefer to use the gain of the amplifier, definitely. Rodrigo, hey John, how do you compare the new and the legacy Ownhammer stuff? Good question. The new and the old Ownhammer stuff obviously sounds different. The feature sets are also different. I'm a huge fan of the new Ownhammer stuff, especially the rock box. I think it's absolutely game changing. I like it especially because, number one, the feature set is super compact and the focus is all on the different speaker types. So instead of buying one pack and being tied to a certain brand, say Mesa Boogie, and going in there and changing the microphones and stuff like that and finding your ultimate tone, this time what I do is I go to the modern 3-mix, which is my favorite balance, basically, and then I go between the different speakers and see if a certain speaker works for me. And if a speaker is too MIDI sounding, for example, or too bright or too dark, I go to another one. So it's a different approach to getting a great tone for a certain amplifier or for a certain genre or something like that. So, and they sound really organic, but at the same time, there aren't any, ugly peaks in the upper mid-range or something, and they're not boomy in the low end. So the low end is full, but nice and tight. So they are very, very mix ready. I usually do a low cut at 80 hertz or so, just to make the room for the bass and the kick drum and stuff like that. But super awesome, super awesome. All right, guys, some more comments, and keep the comments going. Otherwise, we won't have anything to talk about. Let's see. Thinking about getting a floor modeler. Which one would you suggest? Well, it depends on your budget. I mean, if you're on a low budget, something like the HX Stomp would be pretty cool. Helix is great. Fractal FM3 or the FM9 is great. Yeah, there's a lot of great options out there. So it's not an easy question to answer in a minute or so. It depends on your needs and your budget, to be honest. Constantine, thoughts about the Bogner Uberschall and the Ecstasy amps? What is better for modern metal? I haven't played those amplifiers in real life for a long time, but I definitely would think from memory that the Uberschall is better for metal. I think that the Ecstasy amps are a little bit sort of I don't want to say congested in the mids, but they're not wide and very open sounding. Great for leads and perhaps more, styles like, lead guitar and fusion and session work and stuff like that. And the Bogner Uberschall is more raw and more huge sounding. So I think, but I'm not entirely sure, that the Uberschall would be better for metal. I think, but I just need to try one, to be honest. Bonjour, everybody. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, please drop a like and a comment and a question and subscribe, of course. If you've missed it already, I announced the winners for the contest for the free Tonex giveaway. If you're a winner, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook and I'll get back to you with a license. And of course, also send me proof that it is in fact you. So when you're logged into your YouTube channel, make a screenshot and edit it so I can see that it is in fact you. All right. I am the Bastard King. Hey, John, are you going line out from your reactive load box when you're capture with the Tonex capture box? Yes, I am. I actually made a video about my capture signal chain with the helix and all that stuff. Look it up on the channel to get all the details that you'll need to get a good Tonex capture with your own setup. Look it up. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but you're asking, do you ever get headaches or migraines from playing high gain guitar? Interesting question. No, I don't think so. I get headaches sometimes, but usually like in the morning when I wake up or something, or when I'm sick, but I don't think it's guitar related at all, and certainly not high gain. Maybe you're playing too loud. Be careful, man. Patrick, hello from Australia. Love your content. It's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gunnar, are there any styles of music that you would like to venture into in the future? I don't know. I don't think about it too much. I just kind of, I talked about this earlier, but I'm a very spontaneous person. And in terms of what I write, I don't overthink it. I just do what feels good. And I'm just a riffer. I like rock and metal and heavy styles. And that's just what I do. I also like clean stuff. I'm not a huge crunch player, but you know, I just do what feels good, and I'm not really, thinking about doing anything else. I just really enjoy the music that I make at the moment. So yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but what speakers do you use all the amps with? Do you prefer IRs? Yes, I definitely do. Any speaker combinations that you like? Well, I'm currently doing a lot of experimentation with the Ownhammer Rockbox IRs that I just talked about, trying different speakers and searching more, between various speaker types rather than choosing mics and all that stuff. So yeah, that's really cool, and it's a really nice switch, to be able to focus on different speaker types rather than the other stuff, and just focus on that sound signature basically, which is cool, and which is one of the reasons why I really recommend checking out the Ownhammer Rockbox IRs, and also because they're very affordable. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Let's see. Is a DI box an indispensable part of the signal chain when recording? Good question. I am actually doing a video on DI boxes and reamping soon. I'm going to talk about DI boxes and stuff in that video, so stay tuned for that. Maybe that video will answer your question. Sven, if you had the chance to rescue one amp, your favorite, because of fire, which one would you take from your collection? Well, people ask me that question all the time, right? What is your favorite amplifier? Which one would you pick, or which three would you pick? Which one would you take to a desert island and stuff like that? And I don't want to choose, because right now in my life, I'm not in a position where I have to choose. I guess the Joker Red 7 Leviathan does have a very special place in my heart, and it's unique, and it's the only one in the world. So I guess I would take that one because it's just so awesome and unique, and especially made for me. But there are many others that I would want to take with me. Confession, I stole your engl Powerball 2 settings from your video. Oh my God, that's awesome. I hope you like those settings. Luca, excuse John, what do you think about Boss modelers? Well, good question, great question. Back in the day, I used to have a GT6, I think. I had the gold one and then the black one, I think. And while I had fun with those things, because those were like the first really advanced modeling platforms. Sorry. Had a party yesterday for my daughter's birthday, so I'm a bit tired. And those were a lot of fun, but the amp tones never were really satisfying to me. So and for a while there, I just wasn't really excited about using Boss products in terms of modeling, because of the COSM, or the COSM stuff. And then a little while ago, I got the ME90, which is over here. I wanted to try this thing because I also talk about this in my ME90 video. But for a while, back when I was younger, I had the ME50, which was the blue version, I guess. And So it was a little bit nostalgic, very affordable, and it's just fun to go in here and tweak all the controls and stuff like that. A lot of fun. And this one actually has the AIRD amp modeling, which is like the newer version in comparison to the COSM or COSM. I don't know how you call that modeling. And this one was quite impressive, actually. So if Boss would ever like to send me one of their more advanced modeling platforms, like the GT1000, I believe it's called, I would definitely give it a go and use it in my videos. Hint, hint. So yeah, definitely, they've definitely improved their modeling. That's for sure. Great question. Thank you. Let's see. Xander Jones, would you ever consider putting up your presets for your Hot Tone Ampero 2 up for download? I loved your tones. Thank you. Well, I don't often post presets. I just post the settings in the video so you can copy them, and my presets always tend to be very simple anyway. And I always or almost always use my own Hammer IRs anyway, so if you want to get my tones, you're going to have to get those IRs too, so it makes it a little bit more complicated. So I just post the settings in my video. All you got to do is pause the video and then copy the settings. Dave, I've often been curious, where did you learn your craft? Production-wise, ever thought about putting out a complete production course? Thanks for the question. Production, I assume you mean the music production, because my video production is just like put a GoPro camera on the stand or two and then record and then put the footage together. I'm not really a video expert, but in terms of audio, when I was in my old band Entwine, I think in about like 2006, I started really getting into mixing. I wanted to be able to make my own music sound good, you know, and I started to just practice a whole lot and watch a lot of tutorial videos on mixing audio. And then, you know, and the more you do it and the more you practice, the better you get. It's as simple as that. So I guess I kind of learned it myself. I never did a course or I never went to production school or anything like that. So yeah, I guess that's the short answer. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm having a lot of fun here talking to you guys. I hope you're having fun too. Don't forget that I just announced the winners for the giveaway. Scroll back a little bit to find out if you're a winner. If you're one of these winners, maybe this will help. Excuse my bad handwriting. If you're a winner, drop me a message on Instagram or Facebook on my Sonic Drive Studio account with proof that it's in fact you, and I'll send you a license. All right. And I also, in the beginning of the video, showed you guys this, the Fractal FM3, which is going to be making some appearances on the channel soon. So yeah, if you want to talk about that or talk about some of my guitars, I'm here. I'm here for you guys. Let's see if I can answer some more questions. Mark Doolin, hey dudes, picked up an old Peavey Valve King Mini 20-watt head. Kind of small, sounds great. Yeah, those look killer. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Do they still make them? I don't know. I like the Peavey lunchbox heads a lot. They're a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for dropping the questions and the likes and the comments. Really appreciate it. Let's see if we can keep this going for a little while. Thanks, John, to warn about the scam messages. Yeah, oh, those scammers are so annoying. It happens a lot, and I think YouTube is getting better at getting rid of the scammers. But it's annoying as hell. The Timinator. What was the first song that you learned on guitar? Wonderwall by Oasis. They are the band that got me into playing guitar, actually. So I have very fond memories of that, and I listen to their music still quite often, actually. What's your approach on riffs? Do you have any prior inspiration for videos? Say you listen to Metallica, so you write something thrashy, or Slipknot, so you wrote something low tune. Good question. My approach on riffs, there's like two ways that I write riffs, I guess. One way is that I just sit down with the guitar and jam and until something comes up where I feel like, hey, this is a cool rhythm or this is a cool groove. Like writing my riffs is very groove and rhythm oriented, I guess. I'm not a very technical player, so it's about you know, the rhythm aspect and moving between chords and stuff like that. And other times, which is my favorite way of writing riffs, is I come up with them in my head. You know, I try to come up with a cool groove. I'm walking down the street or something, and that's a nice groove. I'll take my phone and record it with my voice, and then I sit down on the computer, record a little scratch riff, put some drums underneath, record some more riffs, and voila. That's usually how it happens. And I can talk about this for a very long time, but I'm not trying to avoid that. But I try to let it flow as much as I can without judging my ideas. Maybe it sounds silly, but whenever there's music coming into my head for some reason, I just let it flow. And when it makes me excited, it's good. And I'm not really in a band aside from the Ghost Hour project, so I don't have any other people to, you know, who have to judge my music. Does it fit the band? Does it fit the overall goal of the band? None of that stuff. So I can get away with a lot of different styles. You know, sometimes I do something that's a little bit too 80s maybe, or sometimes I do something that's a little bit too metal, for example, and I just have fun with it and try to not overthink it. And sometimes I repeat myself. I repeat a groove that I've done before or a certain chord shapes or chord structures. It's all good. I just have fun and I don't take it too seriously. I guess that's my secret. Let's see. If Matty Hafler, if was to record the eye tracks for reamping in the studio, what would be straightforward approach without breaking the bank? Again, I'm going to do a video on reamping and all that stuff soon on the channel with Walrus Audio Products, so stay tuned for that. X9 Eric, hey John, love your music and killer amp reviews. If you had to pick one engl, which would it be and why? Ooh, that's a tough question, dude, because I love all my engl amplifiers. We have the Fireball 100 down there, which is just an awesome amplifier. It's a workhorse, and it really gets the job done every time, seriously. The Savage 120 Mark II is incredible too. It has so many tone shaping options. Really, really cool amplifier. Love it as well. Powerball 2 is also incredible. Oof, it's really hard to choose. It's really hard to choose. I don't know. I don't know. Luckily, I don't have to pick one because I just have those. And the small ones are great as well, but obviously the 100 is probably going to sound better than the 25. If you don't need a big amplifier and you just want to rock out, the 25 is such a sweet amplifier. But of course, the 100 is going to sound a little bit bigger. Good evening, guys. If you haven't already, please drop a like and a subscribe and drop a comment in the actual comment section for this video to get picked up by the algorithms. And drop a question in the chat and let's hang out and have some fun, as long as you guys want. William, that's an impressive wall of amps. Thanks. Where would you pit the Red 7 in terms of favorites? Well, I kind of answered this question a little while ago in this live stream, but it's definitely one of my favorites. And also because of the fact that it's built for me and it's very unique. There's only one of them in the world. The Joker edition. Hell yeah. Baritone Goat Studio. Hey there. When it comes to amp sims, is it more important to have accuracy or a mix ready tone? I find those two things aren't always the same. Interesting question. From my perspective, with most of these amplifiers, when I put them into my setup with a good reactive load, and then an awesome Ownhammer IR. If it's a good amplifier, it's going to sound pretty mix ready. Sometimes it will be a little bit too bright. I'll turn down the treble or the presence. Sometimes the low end isn't tight enough, put a pedal in front, etc. So if a plugin is great at emulating a real amplifier, it should fit in the mix really well, because of how accurate it is. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that's just from my perspective. But I don't have anything against companies making unique amplifier models, you know, like Fractal is doing with their FAS amp models and stuff, and Helix with amplifiers like the Badonk. I would say I prefer accuracy, definitely, because in my opinion, when it's accurate, it will work in a mix, usually. But that's just my perspective and my opinion. Great question. Thank you. Drawn from apathy. Feelings on replacing tubes in our engl powerball 2s. They are still working but old. Do you replace, dude? Do you replace often? I know I don't. That's like I'm not good at doing. I mean, sometimes I replace tubes and amplifiers when it's necessary, but I'm far from techie when it comes to my amps. So, man, I try to spread the usage of my amplifiers evenly so that it's going to hopefully take some decades before I have to do maintenance on these amplifiers, because I'm the worst when it comes to that stuff, to be honest. So yeah. Good night, Luca. See you soon. Paul, love the channel. Any experience with Guptech pedals? I have 2 of their noise gates and a Phoenix, and I love them. Yeah, I have 2 really cool Guptech pedals here. Yeah, so Guptech is a really cool Canadian company. I did a video on this thing. This is like a presence and a depth emulator. You can put this in your loop and then add depth and presence. Really cool. It's like a simple EQ pedal. And I also have this thing, which is like one of the most powerful overdrive and boost pedals ever made. In fact, I was talking to the guy from Guptech when they were sending me this one. And he said, is there anything custom that you would like? And I said, well, how about an overdrive pedal that has like a tube screamer built into it, but also a TC electronic integrated pre and then combined in one pedal? And he said, we already have that pedal. And then he sent me this. This is the Mad Honker. And this is basically your tube screamer, but it does have like 3 different voices. It also has a bass switch for fine-tuning the response of the bass, tone control, drive control, volume control. So this in itself is a quite versatile tube screamer already. Then you can put it in series or parallel. And when you put it in parallel, you can blend between the 2. And then this is your TC electronic integrated pre, or your 1433. You can switch between the 33 or the grinder pedal, I think it is, from Guptech. And there's a voicing switch here as well. I'm not sure what this does. Maybe it sets the frequency curve to a like preset curve. And then you got your treble and bass control. And yeah, this is like a very cool pedal. If you're looking for a boost pedal that does a lot of different things, this is pretty interesting and cool to look at. So yeah, I'm familiar with Guptech. Yeah. Lauhaz, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Hi, any plans on testing out some more Friedman amps? I'd love to. I mean, I got the Double J Junior, which I'm really enjoying. But the Friedman amplifiers are on the expensive side. So I don't really, I'm not really looking to purchase any Friedman amps soon. I've also not really been in touch with Friedman amps. I mean, look, I have a huge collection of amplifiers, obviously. I don't really need to buy amplifiers anymore. I mean, a year ago or so, I was still really wanting to get a diezel, for example. That was something that wasn't in my collection yet. And the Savage back here was on my wish list. there isn't a lot of stuff that is on my wish list right now. So at this point in my life or YouTube career or whatever you want to call it, I just sort of wait and see whatever comes my way, if that makes sense. And if companies want to send me an amplifier to demo on the channel and use in various comparisons, I'm all for it. But yeah, I'm not really looking to purchase very expensive amplifiers right now. I have so much. And there's always room for more, don't get me wrong, but recently I've been spending my budget towards other things like the FM3 that I just showed you guys, and some killer guitars, as you probably have seen. Like, for example, this one. Oh, dudes, check out this top. Hell yeah, this is such a cool guitar. ESP LTD, folks, love them. Yeah, really love their instruments, obviously. Rinky Dinky, 2 questions. Do you like the new Les Paul colors and the new Jake E. Lee versus the Runt? I'm sorry to say that I haven't paid any attention to the new Friedman amp. I have also never played a Runt, and I don't really know who Jake E. Lee is. I know his name, but I'm not really familiar with his playing. I'm almost feeling ashamed. The new Les Paul colors. I think I saw one with a sort of purple burst thingy that looked pretty cool, but I don't know. The old Les Paul colors are fine for me too. It's cool that they're offering more finishes though. That's pretty nice. Obed let me see how McCallip. Did you set up the camera and lighting yourself? I've been in a video productions for a long time and I appreciate the guys such as yourself who put out quality stuff. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I do everything myself. And honestly, my setup is so simple. I'm almost ashamed of it. Like, these are my main cameras, GoPro 10s. Yeah, I'm not really somebody who likes to spend a lot of money on cameras and stuff. And these just work really well for me. And I'm very familiar with how they work and how they look. And sometimes for close-ups, or usually for close-ups, I just use my Samsung phone, which has a great camera on it. And that's it, basically. So it's very simple and basic, but I really appreciate you saying that because it's something that I'm not really confident about. You know, other guys, they're just great on their channels with their expensive cameras and the cameras that move slowly and pan across the gear and stuff. I mean, maybe I should be focusing on that more, but I'm just not really interested. I'm more interested in the guitar gear and the tones and stuff like that. But I'm really happy that you're saying that. I really appreciate it. Let's see. No Savage Mark 1. That's correct. I'm very happy with my Mark 2. Xander Jones, how do you like the Fishman Classics? Great question. Okay, let me grab another guitar, okay? Seeing as this guitar is on the thumbnail. So, these new LTD EC1000Ts that I got, they have the Fishman Fluence Classic open core models with the little Fishman stripe on there, right? These pickups are really cool. I'm really enjoying them. So they have 3 voicings. By default, they have the hot-rodded humbucker voicing on the bridge pickup. And in the neck position, I believe it's called the airy chimey voicing, which is kind of scooped, great for clean tones, for modern clean tones. When you pull up the tone pot, this becomes a more vintage PAF tone. So a bit more dynamic and a bit more bright and open sounding, great for classic stuff. And then this pickup gets more into the classic neck pickup territory, so it's a bit more honky and pokey in the mids. And then when you pull up the volume pot for the neck pickup, the pickups turn into single coil pickups, so they're super versatile. Sometimes with high gain, but it's definitely not a biggie. Sometimes I miss a little bit of bite on the bridge pickup, but they do sound very balanced. So they are very versatile because of that. So I actually think that they do sound great. They are a little bit on the noisy side. So there's always a little bit of a hissy noise floor going on. So And I compared all three, and they all three have the exact same shh going on underneath. And the more gain and treble you add to your tone, the more that's going to come through. So you're going to need to use a noise gate with these pickups if you're doing high gain. But, you know, it's just what it is, and it's not horrible, but I wish that the noise could have been less with these pickups. So, well, yeah, that's my answer. Really enjoying these pickups. Look at this guitar, dudes. What a cool guitar. CTM, full thickness, beautiful finish. I'm going to do a video on the channel like next week for some unreleased exciting products. And all three of the new guitars are going to be featured in that video. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Let's see. Hannes, could you make Tonex models with the speakers, please? Nah, I'm sorry, can't do that. In Tonex, the models don't sound as good with other IRs. Or is there a trick that I don't know? I would just recommend getting a free IR loader or whatever and loading in some Ownhammer IRs, and you should be good to go. Sven Jeske, is there another engl amp that you would really like to add to your arsenal? Great question. I have all the ones that I've, dreamt of, but I recently saw a video by Scott from Chernobyl Studios, and he was using the artist edition, and that looked really cool, really simple, and I think it's a bit more affordable. I'd like one of those, to be honest. Yeah. Because the Powerball 2 and the Savage are quite complicated amplifiers with a lot of switches, and that amplifier, the Artist Edition, is very stripped down and basic, and I also really enjoy that approach. So yeah. Let's see. And guys, again, welcome to the chat. Thanks for hanging out. We did some talking. I announced the winners for the giveaway. I talked about my new Fractal FM3. If you guys have any questions about this, I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, please drop a question, drop a like. That would be great. And yeah, I really appreciate the support you guys are giving me for the channel. Really appreciate it. Because this is my job, this is my livelihood. And even though sometimes people think that I make a lot of money, it's definitely not the case. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a car. All my money, aside from buying food for my family and stuff like that, obviously, all my money goes to this, because this is what I do. And this is what I want to show you guys and give you guys and showcase on the channel. And yeah. So anything that you do, every like, every comment, every subscribe, anything really helps the channel out. And I really appreciate it, guys. And I also really appreciate the nice comments and the support that you guys have given me over the years. Really appreciate it. I feel really grateful to be able to do this for my job. So yeah, thanks so much. Okay. Let's see. Mech Cadaver Dog. I know your name, Cadaver Dog. Your username is quite interesting. Have you played any of the Bletchley amps yet? If so, what are your thoughts on them? Never heard of them. Bletchley amps. Never heard of them. As I mentioned earlier in the live stream, I'm always up for trying new amplifiers. VJ, hey John, hope you're doing well. What are your thoughts on engl amps taking pedals? I've heard the front end and loop can be temperamental. Dude, my engl, Fireball, Powerball, Savage, they take pedals really well. Nothing wrong with it. The loops seem to work well. Sometimes I put a reverb pedal in the loops. Works really well. Let's see. I wanted to say something, but I forgot. Let's see. Yeah, boost pedals, they take boost pedals really well. What else is there to say? I wouldn't worry about it. Sometimes the clean channels, especially for amps like the Fireball, they can be a bit bright and shiny. And they also, at a certain point, quite early in the taper of the pot, break up, which I like personally. If you have a channel like that that's voiced in a certain way, so not really flat, then it's going to be a little bit harder to put an overdrive or a distortion pedal into the clean channel, because it's going to be colored quite a bit by the character of the channel itself. If you're looking for an amplifier with a very flat, clean channel, like the Archon, for example, you know, or let's see, the oranges. Oranges tend to have quite flat, clean channels. That tends to be a bit better for adding, you know, distortion pedals and stuff. I hope that answers your question. But no problems whatsoever putting pedals in front of my engl amps. No, it works just fine. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Baritone Go Studio, thinking of grabbing one of the new TC Electronics AmpWorks preamps. Yeah, to demo. Have you checked them out at all or have any interest? Well, to be honest, I tried to send them messages, but they're kind of hard to get a hold of because I'd like to demo the dual rect and the 550 on the channel, to be honest, but I haven't been able to get a hold of them. So if you ever know how to reach them, send them a message and tell them that you want me to demo those pedals because they seem like a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely do some videos on that. They seem really cool. Paul Bullock, any experience with the KHE ACS line or other ACSs? Or do you just plug and unplug various amps? Yeah, my workflow is very simple. Whenever I want to use an amplifier, I take it off the shelf, put it on a cabinet, plug it in, and go. I'm not really interested in amp switchers and stuff like that, to be honest. I don't need to have them all hooked up anyway because I have too many amplifiers anyway. And why would I hook up only 5 or 10? You know, I would have to find a system one day that I could hook them all up to somehow. That sounds impossible because I have, I don't know, 60 amplifiers or something right now, which is crazy. Let's see. Why does my dad hit me when he drinks? Dude, that's not cool. That sucks. I hope you're kidding. I hope you're kidding. Feuersturm Omega, Empress Heavy Menace, great pedal, or Lichtlärm Gehenna, great pedal too. Whew, man, great pedals. They have their own character going on. Maybe I should do a comparison one day if I can find the time. Both are really cool. Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. I would have to make a comparison in order to give you a good opinion, to be honest. Yeah. Rodrigo Salez, which bands or artists have you been listening to lately? To be honest, I am a very stubborn music listener. I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. I've been listening to a lot of Oasis because I love that stuff because it's what I grew up with. Some Metallica, some Meshuggah. Sometimes I put my music player on shuffle just to force myself to explore some new things. I also have been listening to a couple songs of the new Machine Head record, which was quite cool, quite aggressive. I've also been listening to some songs of the new Seven Dust record, but to be honest, the production is, you know, that guy Elvis Basquet. A lot of bands work with him, Alter Bridge, Tremonti, Seven Dust, and stuff. And I just think that he really over compresses his mixes, and I'm having a hard time enjoying the sonic character of those mixes, unfortunately, which is a shame because I really love those bands, but the over compression on those mixes is just too much for me. But I just like to listen to music that I'm familiar with. So, you know, a lot of times I just go back to my old Meshuggah albums or my Metallica albums and stuff like that. So I'm not really adventurous, I guess, when it comes to listening to music. A couple friends of mine, they explore new music a lot and listen to a lot of different bands, but I'm just not like that, to be honest. Sound Healer, which IR do you think sounds the best? There isn't one IR that sounds the best, but Ownhammer definitely for me is the best. And especially I'm really excited about the new Rockbox IRs. I really recommend checking those out. I talked about this half an hour ago or so, but not only are they very affordable, but the focus is more on the various speaker types. And that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to explore different speaker types rather than changing mics or changing the mic positions or changing cabinet brands, you know, like Marshall or Mesa Boogie. There are so many companies that are still focusing on that, which I completely understand. But I like how Ownhammer right now is focusing on different speaker types, and a very simple feature set and affordable feature sets as well, rather than all the other stuff. And I'm really enjoying that. Sometimes I want to use the DV77. Sometimes I feel more like using a V30. Sometimes I feel adventurous and want to try something else. And yeah, so that's my favorite IRs at the moment. Thomas, do you like Senjutsu? Yeah, I like it. It's not the best Iron Maiden record, but it's cool. It's a little bit slow and moody, but I like it. Yeah. Drawn from apathy. I need to get lunch. Did you want a sandwich? And thanks for doing what you do, how you do it. A favorite. Thank you very much. No, thank you. I tend to do fasting in the evening, but I appreciate your gesture. Obed McCallop, brand and gauge strings you use for heavier stuff. Probably will go on my Hellraiser. Okay. Elixir, always. Gauge depends on the guitar and the tuning. For a lot of my heavy guitars, I'm in drop C, and I use a standard set of 11s. When I'm in E or E flat, I tend to use a set of 10s. And for baritone guitars, 6-string baritones, I tend to use the baritone sets, but with a fourth 0.24 instead of the plain 0.22. There are various gauges, but Elixir strings always. I don't make any exceptions anymore. Love Elixir. Would love a sponsor. That would be great. Yeah. Let's see. Hi there. Trickster, would you consider sharing the stems to one of your demo songs? I'm not really looking to share DI tracks. I like it when my DI tracks are my property, if that makes sense. It just feels a little bit personal to share my DI tracks for some reason. Don't ask me why, but I don't know. I'm just not really interested in doing that, to be honest. Let's see. I live in Netherlands and I have a VHT. Cool, man. Awesome amps. Want to demo it? Well, I mean, I really appreciate the gesture. I really appreciate it. I do get offers like that sometimes that people want to send me their amplifiers to demo on the channel. To be honest, I have so much stuff that I want to do and need to do still on the channel that I just don't have time to do extra stuff. So that's why I usually, decline those offers. I do greatly appreciate the offer, though. Thank you very much. But I'm good. Thank you. I have so much stuff that I want to do, but really, thank you for the offer. Nitrav, which 15-watt orange amp do you like the most? Good question. I recently used the OR15 for the Ownhammer Creamback demo. It sounded really good. It's really versatile. Yeah, they all are pretty good, to be honest. The Tiny Terror is so cool too. It's so raw and awesome sounding. The Dark Terror is great for a bit more of a modern tone. It's a bit more scooped, I guess you could say. The Rocker 15 Terror has a great clean channel, which is a great pedal platform because of how natural it sounds. They call it the natural channel for a reason. But you can't go wrong with the OR15. Great clean tones, great crunch tones, very orangey, and also quite high gain if you need it to be. So it can do very modern stuff. The Tiny Terror is awesome too, but it's not the best at doing modern tones. If you're more of a classic player, you can't go wrong with the Tiny Terror, seriously. Let's see. Really appreciate your comments, guys, by the way. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, if you got any questions for me, drop them in the chat. If there aren't any comments anymore, I will go bow out gracefully. But I got some questions left. Bata SSL, I hope you do more of these streams. This is great. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe I'll do more. Let's see how this one goes. And yeah, I really enjoy this stuff. I just have to find time, sometimes, or I work quite hard during the day that a lot of times in the evening, I just want to read a book, comic book, or play a game or watch a movie. But these are a lot of fun indeed. And I like to nerd out. So, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to ask this again. Please drop a like under the video. It really helps out for the algorithms and stuff like that. If you haven't, please subscribe. Really helps out too. Thank you guys for all your support. And of course, while I'm here, drop your questions. Ask me anything. Let's have some fun. Cadaver Dog. I love the latest from Noel Gallagher. Yeah, great album. Yeah. I actually didn't give the previous album a chance until recently, and I really enjoyed that one as well. So yeah, I've also really been enjoying the Liam Gallagher stuff. Cool stuff. Aftab Latif, which amp in your opinion is the best pedal platform? Great question. I'm not the expert on that topic, but I will say when it comes to the smaller amplifiers, the Rocker 15 Terror, I believe it's this one or this one, has a great clean channel for pedals, the natural channel. It's a low wattage amplifier though. So if you're going to need something with a lot of headroom, perhaps the PRS Archon could be a great pedal platform. The clean channel. Let's see. I guess the Invective, the Peavey Invective could be a great pedal platform. You just need an amplifier that has a very natural sounding clean channel. So not too sparkly, not too bright, not too scooped. It has to be very even and natural sounding with a minimal amount of processing or tone shaping, and then you're good to go. So yeah, and high headroom helps, obviously. But for low gain, Orange Rocker 15 Terror is a great pedal platform. That's why I use it in videos where I have to demo like an amp in a box style distortion pedal. And that's a great sounding clean channel for pedals. Hope that helps. Which picks do you use? Well, I'm glad you asked. I use these picks always. The Dunlop Tonex 0.88 millimeters. Love them. Perfect picks. Let's see. Paul Bullock. Engl Fireball 100 with the 412 XXL Pro or Mesa Mark 7 with oversized 4x12. Whew. I would go with an Engl for a couple of reasons, because number one, sounds freaking awesome. Number two, it's much more affordable. And those are some pretty good reasons, actually. And the Engl Fireball just has some nice juice going on. I mean, you can make it sound very tight and, you know, and very focused, or fat. You know, you can. It's really an amplifier that allows you to shape it very well. The Mark series, of course, also. But there's always something about the Mark series, despite me loving those tones. Obviously, I have one over here. There's always something about the tone that's missing a little bit of organicness, if that makes sense. And the Engl Fireball just sounds a bit more temperamental and organic and raw. And the clean tone is just gorgeous. So yeah, the Engl, go for the Engl. The XXL cabinet is cool, but you may be happier, or you might be happier with a standard sized 4x12, because I think the low end probably is a bit more thick sounding on the smaller cabinets rather than the XXL. But I would recommend just trying one in a room. But yeah, if you want to save some money, depending on where you live, the Engl stuff is very hard to beat. Baritone goes to, have you tried out the neural amp modeler? No, I have not, and I'm not really interested. As I said a little while ago, I'm just too busy anyway with a lot of other things. I'm just not really into that stuff, and the people who are supporting that have been sort of bugging me about it a little bit, which puts me off a little bit, if that makes sense. So nah, not really interested right now. Funny story. I've been a big fan of Clint Lowery, and I've seen Sevendust a few times, but I messaged Clint on Instagram and he blocked me. What did you say? Why did he block you? I actually played with Sevendust once. I think it was in 2009 or something with my old band Intwine. We opened up for them in our hometown, and those guys were so cool. Really nice guys. Yeah. Sound healer. You probably already said it earlier, but which sound card are you using? Well, this always surprises people, but my main sound card is my Fractal Audio XFX3. And the main reason for that is because it is so well integrated with my whole guitar world. It's really easy for reamping, recording DI tracks and stuff like that. So that's my main recording hub and sound card. Sometimes for my voice, for my videos and stuff, I use my IK Multimedia XIO, just a simple interface. Works well for recording mics and stuff. But usually I use my XFX3. And it's going to be interesting to see how this compares. I'm going to work on it tomorrow. I'll start working on a video with this thing tomorrow. And I'm going to use this as the interface for a single clip. And I'm going to use it for reamping and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see if this thing also works well, you know, for that stuff. I hope it works just as well, if not better. Because even though I love the XFX3, it hasn't been perfect when it comes to the USB stuff. So yeah, I hope this one is a little bit better. Would be great, but either way, it's going to be a blast, I think. So yeah, Pip Tyson, like the band Ghost. I've seen them live like 2 or 3 times. It was fun, but I haven't really listened to their albums much. I don't know, man. I prefer other bands, but they're cool, and their performance is killer. Obviously, they're fun to watch live. Great show. Deb McCallop, do you have a SoundCloud? I used to have one, which it's probably still up there. Before I started my YouTube channel, I posted all my music on there and all my demos and stuff, primarily XFX demos, because back then I didn't have any tube amplifier whatsoever. It's hard to believe, I know. So it's somewhere up there. You can probably listen to some old songs there and old demos, but I haven't posted anything there in 7 or 8 years. Rodrigo Salez, do you enjoy nerding out over artists' gear? Is there any guitar player you always remember because of his tone or specific gear? Yeah, sure. I mean, a couple of obvious ones are obviously Metallica. I mean, I nerd out over their gear a lot. I even went backstage twice to check out their rigs and stuff, which was really exciting, amazing. Deftones have also really influenced me a lot in terms of style and in terms of guitar tone. Stefan has been a huge influence for me. So I also really enjoy nerding out over his gear. And a couple of years ago, for a while, I actually talked to him quite a bit on Instagram, and we really nerded out over what he used for their records and stuff, which was really a lot of fun. So of course, I'm a huge gear nerd, duh, obviously. So I really like to nerd out over artist gear. I really enjoy that stuff. So again, for everybody who just tuned in, thanks for joining in. Thank you guys for hanging out. And also thanks everybody for the support. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons down below and dropping a comment and a question. I'll be here for a little while, probably. If you want to ask me something, now is your chance, because I'm not sure when I'm going to do this again. Could take a year. Last time I did this was a year or so ago. So if you don't ask me a question right now, could take a long while. Possibly. Let's see. Inner Cycle. Hi, man. Any chance on more videos on mixing? Are you still using Superior Drummer? To be honest, sometimes I have this phase where I'm like, okay, I use Steven Slade drums too much, which I basically always use because it sounds so awesome. And it's my comfort zone, you know, and it just sounds so awesome. And I got my mix there with all the processing on the drums, and it's just so satisfying sounding to me. Sometimes I go through a phase where I'm like, okay, I got to try something else. So I have like most of the SDX expansions for Superior Drummer 3. And then I make mixing presets and stuff like that and try some songs with those drums. And then I'm like, cool. And then I compare it to my Steven Slade drum tones, and I'm like, fuck, it sounds so much better. Damn. And then I always go back to Steven Slade drums. So for the past year or two, I just haven't even bothered, to be honest, because for me, Steven Slade drums just work so well, and it sounds so good and so satisfying. I don't really feel the need to try anything else. Maybe I'm too stuck in my own comfort zone, but then again, I'm a guitar player, and my main focus is guitar tones anyway, so I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. Great question, though. Thanks. AK was listening to one of your older 8-string guitar songs and thought there were similarities with older Soen stuff. Do you know the band? And if so, what do you think about their older versus newer stuff? To be honest, I haven't heard of that band. I'm sorry. Sorry. Paul Bullock, got it. Thanks. Engl it is. You're not going to be disappointed. Engl amplifiers are so awesome. Seriously. Aftab Latif, I love your playing and the riffs you put out for demos. Can you share your practice routine? I don't have a practice routine at all. I just sit down and play, and that's it. Just have some fun. I don't feel the need to be technically good, if that makes sense. I just want to write some cool riffs and have some fun. And yeah, I don't really have a specific practice routine, not anymore anyway. But yeah, so I'm sorry to disappoint you with that answer. The questions are almost done, guys. So if you got any questions, drop them now, because if there aren't any questions left, I might just bow out gracefully. Let's see. I got one more question. Would you recommend a Marshall DSL 40 for death metal? Sure. It's a combo. I'm not really into combos. But yeah, I mean, a lot of amps work for death metal. Sometimes you're going to need to put a boost in front of it, obviously, but the DSL amps are pretty awesome. I like my 100. It's a great amp. Affordable. Sounds awesome. Hi, Ian. Greetings, sir. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining in. Drop your questions and let me know if there's anything that you want to know. Bam, PB, and Jam. Would you recommend a diezel VH4 pedal? Those are very cool pedals. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If that's what you want to get, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Keep in mind that diezel sound isn't really tight. It's really fat and bold, and the pedal does that really well. This amp is so awesome. I definitely want to do more videos with this soon. I just have so much stuff that I need to do and want to do first, but I'll get to it eventually. I want to compare my driftwood to my dual rectifier. I want to compare the diezel to the Red 7. I want to compare the Victories to some other amplifiers and stuff. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But yeah. When is the Tonex giveaway winner announced? I already announced it like an hour ago, but I'm glad you asked. These are the winners. I don't know if you can see this. If you are one of these winners, send me a message on my Instagram or my Facebook and with some proof that it is in fact you, and I'll send you a license. Congrats to all the winners. Sound Healer, do you know Silverchair and do you like it? I'm familiar with them. I have checked it out a couple times, but I'm not really into it. Maybe I'll check it out again. Ale Gutierrez, hello, John. Joined a little bit late. No problem. As long as I'm here, you're very welcome. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Syed Ahmed, best engl amplifier. Yeah, I tried to answer that question a little while ago. It was really hard to answer. I love them all. If you're on a budget, just get a Fireball 100. Can't go wrong. If you want something with more options, look at the Savage 120 or the Powerball. That's funny. I know, because he said the same thing in the chat. Fireball is one of the coolest amplifiers in the world, dude. Baritone Go Studio, the DSL 40, as well as the other DSLs, has a tone shift button that can give a decent mid scoop. I have one and I like it a lot for loud metal tones. Well, yeah, the mid scoop is quite drastic and quite aggressive on those amplifiers. I don't really like to use that, but I can see it could be cool for some really extreme and nasty metal tones, probably. Let's see. Which one would you recommend if you had to pick between Ampero 2 and a Tonex pedal? Well, those are very different products. If you're looking for something similar to the HX Stomp, for example, or this little guy, that I showed you guys earlier, Fractal FM3, which isn't the most affordable small modeler. If you're looking for something with a lot of amp models and effects and stuff like that, of course, I would recommend the Ampero 2 because it's more like that. The Tonex pedal, which is hooked up over here, is very different. It's a pedal that loads amplifiers that are captured, but there aren't any amp models really. You can only load captures, and there are only a couple effects, you know, noise gate and reverb and a compressor. You know, it's a different kind of pedal. Depends on what you need. Obed McCallum, have you ever got to meet a big musical inspiration? Yeah. I met a couple of them. I haven't met my number ones. I haven't met James Hetfield. I was so close. Oh man, I was backstage twice at a Metallica show, and I got to check out their rigs and play their guitars and stuff, which was really cool. But those guys are so busy. Obviously, it's not like you're walking into the venue and hey, you know. So I didn't get to meet them, and I wasn't expecting to meet them. But it would have been so great to be able to say hi to James or something. I do know that James did play my presets for one show, not through the PA, but they recorded my presets because James wanted to see, because I made a couple of presets for the Axe-Fx 2 back in the day that sort of simulate all the classic tones with tone matches. And he wanted to see, James wanted to see how it would sound if they were to blend those presets, my presets. Sounds weird if I'm saying that out loud, but how it would sound if they would blend those classic tones with their modern live tones. As it turned out, it probably sounded out of phase and stuff like that. So the idea was cool, but it just didn't really work out. But he, at least back then, he was familiar with my work because he played through my presets. He probably thought that they were fun. So that's really cool. I did get to meet John Petrucci twice, which was great. Really nice guy. The rest of Dream Theater as well. I met Steve Vai once, just on the street, quickly. I would also love to meet either Liam or Noel Gallagher. That would be cool. I would like to meet the guys from Meshuggah. That would be great. I did talk to Frederick online a couple times. I also sent him some presets. And I also had a couple pretty long chats for a while with Stefan from Deftones. So I haven't met him in person, but I've talked to him for quite a bit. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to meet your heroes if they're nice and down-to-earth people, which has been so far. It has been the case so far. I think we're nearing the end of this live stream. So if there are any questions, drop them now before I bow out gracefully. Let's see. Have you tried the Brainworks emulation of the Engl Savage? I have not. Sometimes I think those amp models are a hit or miss. The VH4 that I got a while ago for my comparison was quite cool. Pretty cool emulation of the diezel VH4. I haven't tried the Engl though. Hey William, where are you from? I am from the Netherlands. My dad is from England, but I was born here, so I'm just a Dutch guy. And I always try to do my best to sound as American, I guess you could say, as possible. Which cab ohms are your favorite? I don't care. This is a 16 ohm cabinet. I have an 8 ohm Engl cabinet. I don't know. Anything works for me. You played before Metallica. I met them in 2007. Dude, that's awesome. That's great. I envy you. William, do you notice a difference between the 6505 1992 and the original 5150? I don't have a original 5150. I did do a comparison recently of the 1992 versus my previous 6505, and there were some differences there. Look it up on the channel if you're interested. Yetimatsi Nightcat, do you use WD-40 for your amp pots and switches? No. Like an hour ago or so, I was talking about how I'm the worst at doing maintenance for my amps and stuff. I do try to use them all, you know, sparingly so that they hopefully will survive longer without needing maintenance and stuff. William, love the riffs you write. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sound healer. I love Lowlands. I've been there 15 times and also lived there. Yeah, man. You mean the festival Lowlands? That's a cool festival. It used to be a great festival. Man. In 2003, I saw Foo Fighters at Lowlands. It was one of the best shows I ever saw. Odette McCallum, thanks for doing this. You seem like a nice, down-to-earth kind of guy yourself. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Martin, hey, SDS. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to go and chill a little bit before going to bed. So if you have any questions, drop them right now. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait till the next time, which might take a long while because the last time was a year ago. The Netherlands. Yeah, it's a nice country. I like living here. It's a very safe and stable country to live in. And yeah, I have kids now, so it's important for me to live in a country where they can just grow up without too many worries and stuff. So yeah, I love my country. I'm not very patriotic. I don't have a lot with being patriotic and stuff like that, but it's a great place to live, if I'm honest. Very stable and chill. In terms of the country itself, it's quite boring and flat. This summer we went to Austria where they have very mountains and and that was so beautiful, and it always, makes my jaw drop because yeah, Holland is quite boring when it comes to nature, but yeah, very cool and open-minded people, I guess. Yeah, we can also be very straightforward and sometimes a little bit too blunt, I guess, but yeah, thanks. I guess. Let's see. I see some questions coming in. Great. I'm going to leave soon, guys. So if you have any questions, be sure to drop them right now. Martin says, hey, SDS, my little brother loves the same guitars that you like. He has good taste. He has good taste. What sort of guitars are you talking about? ESP LTD guitars and stuff like that, or the Phoenix models, or 9 strings, or baritones? And Rui, can you help me to tell why elixirs are the best? They sound the best and they last very long. Simple reason. And they feel smooth, and dude, they last so long. I refuse to use anything else. Pip says, my family is English and Dutch as well. Cool. Oh, that's a coincidence. Cool. Odette McCallum, lol, I guess you see the USA as a little unstable. It's true. I don't want to name any countries. I'm just saying that my country tends to be relaxed and stable, politically, I guess. It's not perfect. No country is perfect. Sometimes things happen here that are unacceptable, but I don't want to go into politics too much. I just want to focus on music and on my channel and have a good time and raise my kids in a chill environment. Let's see. William Mason, your settings to comparison are hard to figure out with Helix versus. Amazing work. Thank you. Your settings to comparison are hard to figure out. What do you mean? Please clarify. You so crazy. John, have you tried the new iRig HDX? Is that the new IK Multimedia iRig thingy? No, I haven't. Martin, Phoenix, great. Oh, dudes, check this out. I'm going to assume you guys have watched my review of this guitar. Man, this is the Phoenix 7 baritone, one of the coolest guitars ever made. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the Phoenix models. If you know the channel, you know how much a fan I am of the Phoenixes. Let's see. Okay, I see some more questions coming in. Again, if you have any questions, drop them now because I'm going to end the live stream pretty soon. Do you plan to check out the new Schecter Sunset Triad guitar? That tri-bucker looks crazy. I would be interested in trying that, to be honest. So if Schecter were interested in sending me one of those guitars, I'd definitely do a review. Looks crazy. Yeah, it looks intriguing, to be honest. Okay, so there's one question left. Oh, two questions now. Okay, so if you want to keep me here, keep coming with the questions. Otherwise, I'm going to close this live stream, but I still have a couple questions to go. Best or favorite pickup? I don't have one single pickup that I like, but in terms of passive pickups, I tend to enjoy Seymour Duncan pickups a lot. Like the JB, for example, just sounds so good in my Les Paul Standard, as well as in my LTD SC20. Sounds so good, so clear and punchy. And I like EMG 81s, classic. For extended range guitars, I'm growing quite fond of the Fishman Fluence. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. I had a long weekend. I'm really enjoying the Fishman stuff for 8 strings. I mean, there are a ton of great pickups. Another great pickup is the you know about that, is the bare knuckle Aftermath. Such a cool pickup as well. All right. William, it's amazing how close you can make the helix sound to the real amp. Thank you. Will you ever make a video on how you do it? I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a very hard process. What I basically do is I start by reamping my riffs with a real amplifier and putting the tracks in my DAW. And then I open an instance of Helix Native underneath. And then I start with copying the settings from the real amplifier onto the amp model and just start tweaking and referencing and A-Bing and going back and forth until I feel satisfied. That's basically it. Sound Healer, about Ownhammer, which one do you recommend for baritone and low tuning? Okay, dude. Aside from the Rockbox IRs like the DV77 and the V30EN 1990A, for example, which are two must-haves for high gain, I really recommend checking out the Low Tuned Essentials. It's such a satisfying IR pack for low tunings. The name says it all. Seriously. Martin, my brother has a boatload of Phoenixes. Really? Awesome. I'd like to see a picture of that. That's really cool. Me too, man. I have 9. Crazy. Rodrigo, do you prefer baritone guitars over 7-string ones, or are both great? They're both great. They inspired me to play different things. I love them both. Really, yeah. I mean, when I'm playing a 6-string baritone, obviously the approach. I'm sorry. Sorry for my yawning. Again, it was a long weekend. We had a birthday party for my daughter who turned 8, so we're all a bit tired. Let's see. Yeah, so if I'm playing a 6-string baritone, the approach is more similar to a regular 6-string, so the chord shapes and stuff. And then sometimes when I switch to a 7-string baritone, it just inspires me to play different chord shapes and stuff. So it's cool to switch between both types for me. Daryl McMillan, what studio monitors are you using for your demos and reviews? I have a pair of Adam A77Xs in front of me. And I also have SonarWorks running because my room isn't perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect. So I need that to make it more flat. And that has really helped me to get a great and even sound from my speakers. I think that the new Adams are really intriguing with the built-in SonarWorks. That would be ideal for direct monitoring, to be honest. A couple more questions to go. You said you're listening to Oasis. Have you listened to Isis? No, I have not. Isis? Oh my God, that's the AI stuff. Thoughts on AI? To be honest, I'm not really a fan. It was fun in the beginning, but I just prefer it when people create art, if that makes sense. I'm really tired of seeing like, oh, look at this image from 100 years ago. Look, they found a Bigfoot, and it's just a fake AI image. It's just a bit boring. And I don't like that AI is going to be replacing the creativity of people soon in all sorts of art forms, like making movies and stuff. I'm not a fan, to be honest. This might be the last question, guys. In December official. Okay, let's settle this once and for all. What is more influencing on a guitar tone? Cab, speaker, or amp? Both. I'm not going to say the speaker. So, you know, it's really popular to say, yeah, the speaker makes the biggest difference. No, it doesn't. The speaker makes the biggest difference for the frequency response, the overall frequency curve of an amplifier. It doesn't change the feel, the distortion character, the gain, or anything like that. A speaker sounds completely different with a clean JC120 versus an engl fireball, for example. That's a completely different sound. Of course, a speaker has a great impact on a tone. It changes the overall frequency curve, but it's not going to change your distortion character. So both. I even think that pickups are really important because that's where the tone starts, right? And the wood of the guitar, a guitar has to resonate well in order for it to sound good. So yeah, I'm not in the camp of, yeah, the speaker is the most important thing. It's very important, but the amplifier is important too. And the guitar itself is very important too. Yesterday was the first time I used Tonex live. Cool. Is there a better way to have a better sound? I don't know how it sounded. It's really hard for me to comment without having heard it, but if you make a good capture, it should sound very close to your real amplifier. The tone is in the hands. Orange Rocker 15 versus PRS MT15. Great question. Both are cool. PRS MT15 has a bit more cojones. It has a bit more headroom. It sounds more like a bigger amplifier, but the orange has that great orange character. If you're a fan of the orange stuff, go for the rocker. If you want a more modern rock and metal tone, go for the PRS MT15. Just keep in mind that the PRS isn't great at classic rock. The orange is much better for that, but the orange Rocker 15 isn't really great for metal. It can do metal with some pedals in front and stuff. If you're a metal player, go for the PRS. If you're more of a rock player or looking for a good pedal platform, the orange Rocker 15 is a really cool amplifier. Hell Peak 1, best amp for EMG 81. Whew. Dude, I don't know. A lot of amplifiers sound great with an EMG 81. A lot of modern metal amplifier, high gain amplifiers sound great with EMGs. Cab IRs, I own Hammer Essentials, but I don't know. Okay. I don't know what to say. William, thank you for the work. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. Yetimatsu Nightcat, do you adjust the pole pieces of your guitars? No, I do not. I only adjust the pickup height whenever I feel like the gain is too hot or a bit too soft. But I'm not really over analytic with that stuff. Kongzilla, South Park tried to warn us about Glenn Fricker. Because of PA speakers' behavior is different than our monitors at home. Yeah, I haven't played live for a long time, to be honest. And back then, I didn't have a Tonex to use. I'm a studio player, and in the studio, it works really well, but there's a lot of factors that come into play. Your FR speakers, you know, are you going to play through a tube amplifier and then through a real guitar cabinet or through an FR? That's going to have a huge impact on your tone. So it's really hard to give an answer, to be honest. Bartosz, have you ever tried a Silver Jubilee? Dude, have one right here. It's a really cool amp. In fact, I love it. For the really classic tones, I go for the JCM 800 Studio, which is up here. You can't see it right now, but the Silver Jubilee is cool because it has a bit more gain on tap. And the EQ is much more responsive and active. So there's a wider range of tones on the Silver Jubilee versus a JCM 800. So that's what I really like about I got the 20 watt version, but it's a really nice amplifier. Is there a particular cab you would recommend for playing at home? Whatever floats your boat. I mean, I like the orange. It sounds huge. I like my engl 2x12, but I usually play through my monitors with IRs anyway, so I'm not the best person to answer that question, to be honest. Guys, I'm almost going to leave. So if you have any questions, drop them now. Okay? Steve Weilhart, best humbucker pubs for a Les Paul type guitar. Great question. Great question. Well, my Les Paul Standard has a Seymour Duncan JB in it. It's a great pickup. It's great for metal. It's great for classic stuff. That's a great pickup for a Les Paul. It's a classic. It's a bit boring, but it works really well. For my Les Paul Custom, I'm really a fan of the stock pickups that are in that 498T or something. Great pickup. My LTDs, even though they are Les Paul type guitars, they don't really feel and sound like a Les Paul. I guess they do, but to me, it's just a different experience. And those Fluence classic open core pickups are really nice too. Martin Hensley, what is your favorite amp? Oh, dude, I can't answer that question. People ask me all the time. And yeah, I love them all. It's hard. What is your, let's see, how about a JCM 900, hot or not? Well, I did try a couple in the past in some rehearsal rooms with my previous band. I don't know. I need, sometimes I think, oh, I need to get a JCM 900, but then again, there are a bunch of different versions and I wouldn't know which one to get. So I don't know, but they seem pretty cool, to be honest. I think I would get some great tones out of a JCM 900. I don't see why not. The JB, yeah, great pickup. Seriously, in the SC20, the JB sounds so damn good. That's like the best JB guitar I ever heard, for metal at least. It's so aggressive. So aggressive. Have you considered A/B tests on cabinets now with Harley Benson, Palmer, and many other options? Well, not really. I'm much more focused on IRs and stuff. That's just, I love that stuff. So, and I did a video a while back on recording, miking my actual cabinets. And while that was fun, I didn't find it to be better than IRs. So I don't know. I'd rather focus on other things, to be honest. But who knows? Who knows? Never say never. Kongzilla, have you ever tried an EMG 85 in the bridge position? I have not. I recently picked up an FGN baritone, and that's what's in the bridge. I heard In Flames and Killswitch Engage used them that way back when. I haven't. No, I heard good things about that as well. Paul Schlachter, did you try the OR30 yet? No, I did not. I would love to try one, but I'm not really looking to purchase one or anything like that. If Orange were to send me one, I would be more than happy to demo it, but I'm not looking to buy any amplifier as of right now, to be honest. Do you like the 2210? I haven't tried it. Is that the one that Tom Morello uses? Isn't that like a JCM 800, but with diode clipping or something? I haven't tried one. Seems like an interesting amplifier, though. William Mason, Boss Waza versus Oxbox. Which is better? Whichever one loads IRs. And I think when I checked last time, the Oxbox wasn't capable of loading IRs, which is a big no-no for me. The Tom Morello uses the 2205. I see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if the 2210 is cool. Daryl, okay, instead of asking your favorite amp, if you had to start over, which amp would you replace first? Oh, okay. Good question. So hard. Oh my gosh. My head doesn't work that way. Oh man. Oh man, it's really hard for me to answer. I don't know. I just don't know. Don't make me choose. Yeti Matsi Nightcat, have you played the new Jake E. Lee signature head? I have not. I mentioned this earlier in the live stream. I don't even really, I'm not familiar with Jake E. Lee at all. And I don't have a lot of Friedman stuff. I have this Double J Junior, which is really cool, but I'm not really looking to get any more Friedmans as of right now. But if Friedman were to send me one, I'd be more than happy to feature it on the channel, of course. The 900 SLX. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. I think that one has the most prominent diode clipping or something. But some people have said that that is the best version. Bartosz, by the way, I really like your riffs. They are really fresh. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, we are reaching the end. So again, if there are any questions, drop them now. Drop them now. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait till the next time, which could take a long while. Outtecher, I don't know how to pronounce your name. What's your favorite IR to use with your M80M? Ooh, depends on the amplifier. The easy answer would be any of the new Rockbox IRs. The M80M also just likes Mesa Boogie cabinets, so the Ownhammer Essentials Rect is a great one. Also, the Ownhammer low-tuned is a great IR pack to use with any 8-string or baritone guitar. So yeah, guys, I'm going to end the chat. I really enjoyed this. I hope that the winners of the contest will contact me for the license. I'll also do some social media posts tomorrow to list all the winners as well, just so you guys know who has won. Send me a message on my Instagram or my Facebook and with some proof that you are in fact the winners. Quick recap. Got my new FM3, looking to feature it on the channel very soon. Great stuff. Yeah, guys, had a lot of fun. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for all your support, for all the likes and the comments and all the good stuff. It means the world to me. And I'm going to see you guys very soon. And I hope you're all well. And yeah, thanks again. See you guys around. And stay safe, play a lot of guitar, have a lot of fun, and watch my videos. Okay, guys, thanks again. See you soon. Cheers.